to the 2006 Royal Oak Memorial Day Parade. Along with my co-host, the First Lady of Royal Oak, Ms. Jody Ellison. My name is Andy Aubrey, and Jody, welcome to the parade this year.
And welcome to you too, Andy. It's always lovely to have you back, and I love working with you for our third year.
Third year in a row?
Third year in a row.
We've been blessed with good weather today, a beautiful, warm, sunny day, and I think we'll be glad that we're here early in the morning because it's going to get warm.
I think so too. Hopefully everybody out here has grabbed a nice piece of shade, and we'll be here for a really, really nice, lovely parade.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to the start of the parade, and without further ado, let's have a look.
Anticipate.
Well, Jody, amongst us now, we see the lead vehicle in the parade this year, which is the Royal Oak Department Police car, signaling the beginning of this parade.
It's always a good way to start it off.
Are you practicing?
Once they get a little closer, maybe we'll know who's driving. But right now, one of our fine officers in blue.
Mm-hmm. Working on Memorial Day.
You know what? They work every day.
And every night.
And every night, exactly.
If people would just behave themselves,
you know, it's as easy as that.
They'd have more time off.
They never listen to us, Andy.
I know.
A lot of turnout today.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, Memorial Day originally was known as Decoration Day, which is how my grandparents always referred to this day.
My family as well.
And it was a time set aside to honor the nation's Civil War dead by decorating their graves. First widely observed on May 30th, 1868, to commemorate the sacrifices of Civil War soldiers by a proclamation of General John A. Logan of the Grand Army of the Republic.
And in 1966, the federal government and President Johnson declared Waterloo, New York, the official birthplace of Memorial Day. I know that there is a lot of controversy. A lot of different towns claim that they are the hometown, but officially it is Waterloo. It had first celebrated Memorial Day on May 5th, 1866, because it had made Memorial Day an annual community-wide event during which businesses closed and residents decorated the graves of soldiers with flowers and flags.
Behind the Royal Oak Police Department car, we have the Fire Department Honor Guard. Followed closely behind by the Fire Department ladder truck, ambulance, and engine.
It looks like we have the big one out again today, our Bronto. If you've not seen the ladder up on that Bronto, it's a very impressive sight.
I need my house painted. I wonder if they'll come over.
They might take requests.
As long as there's no fires going on at the time.
I would think. We should check into that, renting out the truck.
I often wanted a horn like that on my car.
Just to get everybody out of the way?
Just, when you're picking a friend up in the driveway sort of thing.
Exactly. Or when you're on the way to cover a parade.
On the
and
way.
you need everybody, I need to get through this intersection.
Yeah,
exactly.
These guys are good at driving fast and slow.
It's a talent.
A true talent.
It is. Following the Bronto, it looks like we have our fire chief. I'm guessing here. I can almost see him through the windshield. It looks like Fire Chief Will White, and I think we have Deputy Fire Chief John O'Connell in there as well. The big guns are out today.
This is major.
This is fabulous.
There's no doubt about it.
It's fabulous. And I tell you what, we are lucky in this area. You couldn't find a better, nicer bunch of firefighters, police officers.
Good. How are you?
Got the air on.
Yeah.
Friendly and competent.
That's why you're smiling.
That's what I want in my departments, especially
Absolutely.
fire and police. And we've got the Oakland County Sheriff's Motorcycle Unit and Chief Sheriff Michael J. Bouchard.
Sheriff Bouchard shaking hands with some of the dignitaries. Right. Well, it looks like we have the Dare truck coming up here.
The Dare truck, yes, indeed. And the boot camp truck.
Oh, I love the boot camp truck.
Now, this is a new vehicle behind the Dare vehicle. This is an even more imposing tank, urban assault vehicle. The Dragoon. This is a Dragoon for the year 2006. That's an imposing one.
They're taking special orders for these. You can't pick it up at the dealership yet.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable we need that, but I guess we should be glad we have
Oh,
it.
my goodness. Luckily, we don't have to call it out too often, but when we do, we have it.
Yep. Better to have and not need than the other way around, right?
Exactly. And paid for completely by drug forfeiture money.
That's right. And veterans groups. The Vietnam veterans.
Well, Andy, one of your favorites, that 1928 Model A Ford. It's driven by George and Irene Jones of Royal Oak. That is a veteran of the parade. It's been driving here for over 30 years. Or at least 30. I won't go over. I don't want to tell its
Yeah,
age
let's not
because
date
that's
them,
not
you know.
that's not polite for the lady.
It's tough to get parts for that vehicle. Now, here we go with the 1967 VW Bug, driven by Nancy Brown.
Beautiful. I'm a child of the 60s and 70s. I love those Volkswagens.
Was that Herbie the Love Bug?
Herbie does Royal Oak.
Well. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, in the distance, coming nearer to us, is the Royal Oak Marching Band. Kimball and Dondero High Schools are being joined together as Royal Oak High School next year and have marched together since last year. Directors Dave Jensen and Tim Foreman.
And our parade route is a little different this year. We're actually standing in front of Dondero, which next year will become Royal Oak Middle School.
Right.
So this beautiful school, luckily we were able to use the building again, and we'll have many, many more years of children enjoying it.
Let's give the band a listen. They sound great. Well, following the band, looks like we see Judge Dan Sawicki, who supports our troops.
Our local circuit court judge.
Following the judge, we have the Kerr brothers, honored as Vietnam veterans. These four brothers all served in 4 different branches of the service at the same time, and they were given a Congressional Letter of Honor 2 years ago for their meritorious duties. And I remember that, Jody. The Senators 11 were here, and they presented these gentlemen with a beautiful letter, and they've been regulars in our parade.
And still as a parent, it strikes me how their mother must have felt having all 4 of them serving at the same time. Just grateful they all came back.
And the VFW Acorn Post 1669 of Royal Oak represented.
With our Poppy Queens, the Junior Poppy Queen and the Senior Poppy Queen.
She got that wave down.
She does.
Light bulb.
Absolutely.
Screw in that light bulb.
Royalty, here we come.
Well, I think there's a gap there. We need that filled. And who better than the Poppy Queen? We have the American Legion Post, and Ladies Auxiliary 253. They have with them Bob Parsons, Carl Greismer, and John Party. Well, that is a beautiful Buick. It's a Buick Wildcat, new for 1963.
Sky blue.
Sky blue.
Blends in
They don't make them
perfectly
that
today.
color anymore.
No, they don't.
It's tough to get a paint match.
What was it, Earl Scheib?
Yeah. Well, I believe we've got Bruce Welther here coming now in a... Is that a 66 Ford M151A1 military utility truck? I'm not sure. It
I
looks
will
like a
take
Jeep.
your word for it. I am impressed.
If it's
it
not,
looks
go
just
with
like a
it.
Jeep to me.
It looks like a Jeep, but who am I? I think Ford made a few Jeeps back then. Ford. All right.
Well, they still wonder in front.
We got Cub Scout Pack 1604, sponsored by the American Legion Post 253. Leader Keith Nemi, sorry.
The flags are 3 times as big as they are. And look at how well they're handling them.
No, it's not. I heard that.
Now we have the Ezra Parker chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. That particular chapter serves Royal Oak and surrounding communities. It was founded on November 17th of 1927. Has an active membership of 155 women who can trace their ancestry directly to the patriots who served or who were involved in the American Revolutionary War. And as you can see, most of the marchers are wearing authentic colonial costumes. DAR promotes historic preservation and provides educational scholarships to area students, among other civic projects. I probably mentioned this in the past, but I was lucky enough in high school to get a DAR scholarship, which helped me to go on to college. So I certainly appreciate it and support what they do. Here we have the...
It's a Parrot Blue 1938 Chrysler Royal Touring Sedan being driven by the Hodars, which is the husbands of daughters of the American Revolution. The car has been in the family since it was new.
Well, now I would call that car green.
Yeah, Parrot Blue. It's color is in the eye of the beholder,
In the eye
maybe?
of the beholder or the manufacturer, either way. Thank you.
Well, Jody, in the distance, we have the Celtic Pipes and Drums, a regular here at the Royal Oak Parade.
And always one of my favorites. I love listening to the pipes. I always feel like they're particularly fitting on a day like today because they have such a melancholy sound to them underneath.
That's true.
Or it may have something to do with that, British Isle ancestry that I have.
Well, I'm with you there.
I thought you might be.
Let's give them a listen. Well, following the Celtic Pipes and Drums are the Royal Canadian Legion. Maple Leaf Post 84, Reginald Slaymaker is the commander. They've been residents of Royal Oak since 1935 and part of the Memorial Day Parade for at least 40 years. This will be Commander Slaymaker's 32nd year.
Now, do you remember where you were 32 Memorial Days ago?
Probably standing right on this podium.
Well, that's why Mr. Slaymaker's waving. He recognizes you.
We go way back.
Coming up, we have the Knights of Columbus, National Shrine of the Little Flower. They are winners of 8 Michigan Achievement Awards for charitable work in the community, including 3 in 2006 alone. Formed in the 1800s in Connecticut to help widows and orphans and those who are less fortunate, the Knights of Columbus continue to go strong today. And they must be a little warm.
If we're warm, they're hot.
I think
No
so.
doubt.
Now we have coming up the Three Flags chapter of the DAR. It's a service organization established in 1890 for historic, educational, and patriotic purposes, just like the Ezra Parker. The national headquarters is Washington, D.C. This particular chapter, Three Flags, began in 1933 and has been an active member of the Royal Oak Memorial Society. They work closely with the Dingle Veterans Hospital in Detroit and provide support to those who've served our country.
Following them, the Fellowship of the Eagles. 2092.
From the Historical Society, wanted to know if we could make a...
Another strong fraternal organization in the Royal Oak area. Driving that souped-up goat. It is, after all, cruising season. We have to
Yep.
get these cars out early.
I've noticed them on Woodward already.
Good job, guys.
Some youngsters on bikes. And behind them, the St. Paul Lutheran Sunday School.
Good representation from St. Paul today.
Big turnout. I think we're going to go off the sheet here a little bit, Jody, but all a day's work for us. Behind the Lutheran Church, we've got the Royal Oak Lions Club.
I resemble that remark.
The Lions Club is a service club whose main focus is to help those who are sight impaired, hearing impaired, or have speech problems when they're children. And driving that car, Diane Hoover, married to our city manager, Tom Hoover.
Another one of their great programs, the Leader's Dogs for the Blind. And,
Mr. Mayor, I'm pleased to introduce Pack 1627, Royal Oak, Michigan. Good, buddy?
Cub Scout Pack 1627.
Coming to us from Whittier with their leader, Ray Nightstep.
Cub Scouts. It's not just a job, but it's an
It's an
adventure,
adventure.
right? I remember it well.
Wants to meet the mayor. How you doing, sir? Doing a good job out there.
Good job. Nice hat, too. Feel better? Nice.
Who doesn't like to meet the mayor? I love it. He's a good man.
Well,
He's
thank
hot,
you.
and he's hot. Very warm today. So, yeah, he's got that tie going. In the distance, could it be? It is.
I think it may be.
Sandra Levin. Shaking hands today.
U.S. Representative. And
I see his signs. I
will-
don't see him, though. He's in there. He's amongst his constituents.
We know he's here somewhere because he was at the pancake breakfast.
He's amongst us, amongst the people, shaking hands and enjoying this beautiful Memorial Day.
If the past is any indication, Sandy's back there about 4 blocks, shaking hands with everybody he walks by.
That's correct.
Very personable.
And I believe his brother Carl Levin's with him. The sign's on the car, at least. We can only assume he's close behind.
Joining them today, too, is Sandy's son, Andy, who I think is making his first run at office.
Really? This politics thing. Okay. And with the Levin brothers is Congressman Joe Nolenberg is with us today, too.
And Congressman Nolenberg was first elected in 92. And go back just a step quickly. Senator Levin was first elected to the Senate in 1978. Almost 30 years. Incredible, stellar career.
In January of 2003, the Secretary of the Navy cited Senator Levin's exceptional service to the Navy and the Marine Corps, presenting him with a Distinguished Public Service Award. And there's Congressman Nolenberg.
Who is currently chairman of the U.S. House of Representatives Appropriations Subcommittee on Treasury, Transportation, and Housing and Urban Development.
All right.
Shelley
Shelley
Goodman
Taub.
Taub is here with
Wait
us.
for my call.
There's Mr. Nolenberg. And behind,
What's going on, man? What's going on? Warm today, huh?
Marie Donegan, State Representative.
Former. That's okay. Marie is a former Royal Oak City Commissioner.
That's right. I remember her when. And just look at her now.
I'll tell you how fast they grow.
They just, you have to let them go, though.
You do. You have to
know?
let them fly the nest.
That's correct.
That's right. Right behind Marie, we see our own Oakland County Commissioner, Dave Woodward, proudly serving Royal Oak.
Well, I see Dave's people. I don't see Dave, though.
Well, my guess is he's taking a chapter out of Sandy's playbook, and he is way back there shaking hands.
They're good like that.
They are. They are. It's always good to get to know the people.
They'll find you when they need you.
It's about the people.
Well, you know, you should run for politics, Andy. You get it. It's all about the people.
It's so simple.
It is simple.
But somehow,
Yeah.
sometimes they make it about themselves.
I tell
won't.
ya.
Don't get me started.
Don't get you started. Don't let me follow.
Please don't. Would not be coming to you. Okay, now we have. I see McGruff, the crime dog, coming up. We got this. We got the Special Olympics first. We're going to mention them as an outstanding organization. I've been involved with that myself up in Mount Pleasant in the past, and just the work they do is fantastic. And
Absolutely. Everybody's given a chance to compete. Everybody's given a chance to win. Very supportive. I heard you mention McGruff.
McGruff is coming. That's true. And he is part of the Royal Oak Citizens Crime Prevention Council. He aids and assists the Royal Oak Police Department in providing assistance in patrolling parking problems and general citizen activities.
All right, I have to pass it on. As our director says today, he is one hot dog.
Let you know.
Everybody grown together.
Oh, boom. Psst, psst. McGruff's not too hot in there. I mean, McGruff's not too hot with all that fur.
Not at all. Not at all.
The kids love him. Great shoes for a dog.
Absolutely.
And the Royal Oak Neighborhood Watch. Well, at this time we'll bring up the opportunities that we do provide here in Royal Oak for volunteerism. Everything from parade hosting to helping with the elderly and
Any
children's
number,
groups.
right.
And there's just lots of things to do if you're interested in getting involved.
Big emphasis on citizens' involvement, citizen committees, which I think is it's pretty wonderful.
Royal Oak's always been about that. We've got a rich tradition. Folks who have lived here for decades, as well as a lot of young folks moving in, and we're very fortunate in that regard.
The Royal Oak Community Policing they go to schools a lot, make sure that the kids are all staying on the straight and narrow there.
Mm-hmm. The Playaway Group, which is a day activity center for children, different activities. It's offered through the Royal Oak Parks and Recreation Department.
I think this is their fourth year.
It's like a drop-in playtime thing for young families. They've been around for about 4 years and are staffed by parents from around the community.
Well, he's enjoying himself today.
Mm-hmm. And we've got a short little moment of downtime here. Let's see. Jody, did you know that the number of U.S. Armed Forces personnel who served in World War II between 1941 and 46 was 16 million?
That's incredible. Incredible. I also know that the average length of active duty by U.S. military personnel during World War II was 33 months, almost 3 years.
It's amazing. And they served, those U.S. personnel served overseas during World War II, an average of 16 months.
Is it any wonder we ended up with the baby boom generation once
That's
they
for
came
sure.
back?
Right. Well, This is the Royal Oak Marching Band, Helen Keller and Jane Addams Middle School. Directors Tim Foreman and Jan Eberstein. To honor our veterans today, the bands are marching together for the Memorial Day Parade in preparation for the union of the two middle schools in the fall of 2007. Let's give a listen.
Well, given the looks of that band, I think our middle school is going to be well represented.
I would say so. There's a few members there.
So, Andy, were you in the band?
No, I was not fortunate enough to be gifted with the talent required to play a musical instrument. And that's better for all of you, believe me. Well, behind the band, we have the Royal Oak Elks, number 1523, celebrating 75 years of community service.
So far, so good.
The Elks Club's a fraternal organization focused on handicapped children and national service.
One of a large number of fraternal service organizations in town. Pretty much anything you want to focus on, you can find a club that will help you do that.
Behind the 1523, we've got the Wapiti Club, also dedicated to community service.
We were fortunate enough to attend their celebration earlier this year. We did. Yeah. So I have to admit that my father-in-law was a former Grand Exalted ruler of the Elks Club.
Wow.
Quite a few years ago.
Did he have a hat?
I bet he did.
Yeah.
But, I think that's all secret hush-hush.
Right,
so,
and there's a handshake involved,
there
and,
is.
and none
there
of
is,
us would ever
secret
be.
words and a grunt, I think. But
You might have something extra in your paycheck. Uh-oh.
Not a lot.
Better be quiet. Yeah, thank you.
Don't come back.
Well, a couple other Memorial Day fun facts. The estimated number of World War II veterans living in California in 2002 was 475,000, which was the most of any state. Other states with high numbers of veterans include Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Texas, and Ohio.
And here we have the Memorial Society, the Royal Oak Memorial Society, and their Grand Marshal. I'm afraid I don't know who he is from the back of his head, but I'm sure he's wonderful. Great
Well,
looking
he should
Thunderbird, too.
probably take a page from some of the politicians' book and plaster his name all over the car and not be
Absolutely.
bashful about that.
Absolutely. The Historical Society is very active in town and well represented, and they are still hosting that pancake breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. You have time to get out there until noon and eat some pancakes.
That's right.
Right at the farmer's market.
Till
Air
noon.
conditioned.
All you can eat. Adults $5, children 10 and under for $3.
I tell you. The 9th Kentucky Infantry coming up next. That's Royal Oak's own premier Civil War reenacting club. Members portray Confederate soldiers from the state of Kentucky who formed into the famed Orphan Brigade. The uniforms, equipment, and the drill you see reflect in detail the historic research done by all of the members. This year, the club will participate in the new preservation movement, picking up momentum at historic Fort Wayne in Detroit. They're working in conjunction with the National Park Service, doing a living history program at the Dunker Church in Antietam National Battlefield in Maryland. They will end their season with a full-scale battle reenactment for any of you who want to be sure to catch this. That's at the Kentucky State Battlefield Park in Perryville, Kentucky. The unit is under direct command of Captain Moses Wycliffe, also known as Brian Kirk. And marching with us today is a longtime member of the group who happens to be home on leave from the service. Sergeant John Lyons, 82nd Airborne Division, Para-Infantry Battalion. For the past 4 years, John has been fighting for us with a tour of duty in Afghanistan and another in Iraq. Sergeant Lyons is home on leave to get married on June 10th. And he has re-enlisted for 2 more years and will be leaving with his unit for another tour of duty in Iraq later this summer.
The Longfellow School Pack 1611 Cub Scouts from here in Royal Oak.
Can you imagine if all these Cub Scout troops just banded together? You wouldn't be able to walk across the street for all the boys.
But you'd have a lot of help.
You would. You would. You could.
Behind them, we got the Pack 1634 from the National Shrine of the Little Flower.
And right behind them, Pack 1607 Northwood Cub Scouts with the leader, Tom Shanks.
Make sure he's on TV.
You must smile when you're on TV. Remember that,
You must.
kids. If you're going to be a politician one day, smiling and shaking hands.
I tell you, it's a tough life.
And behind them, we have the Northwood Girl Scouts. Love the banner. The handprints.
That's fabulous. Well, I think we have about as many girls here. We can rival the boys.
I think they could probably take them.
I think you may be right. Oh, it's a perfect day for a parade. Oh, my goodness, and a cartwheel.
We got a cartwheel out of the deal.
That
Nice.
was a bonus.
Very. Is that Brownie Troop 131? The Northwood Brownies?
I think. Oh, I
It
see
says Star School.
5733
Yes.
here.
Okay.
Oh, with leader Paula Messner, who happens to also be one of the members of the Candy Band, Royal Oak's own Candy Band. Looks like they spent some time on those signs, thanking the veterans. That's what it's about.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
Well, we've got a Model A Ford driven by Jim Dawson right behind the Girl Scouts. It's the Cavalry Post 276.
Looks like we have the Royal Okie football Chargers coming up.
And the Chiefs.
And the Chiefs. And they brought... They all brought their cheerleaders with them today. That's good. Always travel with your cheerleaders.
That's correct.
Take a page from that book.
Yes. Don't do like the Detroit Lions.
See, that's why I'm here with you, Andy, because I'm your biggest fan.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, I've got one then.
Ooh, down there somewhere I hear a calliope.
I hear the calliope. That's right.
Representatives of the First Baptist Church of Royal Oak, which was organized in 1839, has about 300 members. It hosts the community lunch program every Saturday and has an active youth program. Tuesday morning Bible study at 11. Welcomes all who wish to attend, as does the men's meeting every other Thursday at 7 p.m. They're right on Main Street. You can't miss them.
167 years young.
And a beautiful building.
Mm-hmm. Well, behind the church, I hear the calliope in the distance. And there it is. It's an authentic antique circus calliope built about 1900. It's a very rare 53 whistle variety. The largest of the air calliopes. One time it was in the fun house of the old Eastwood Gardens Amusement Park in Detroit. And for many years was owned by the Detroit Edison Company.
Oh, that's good to see. She's playing on a keyboard. I thought we had to have people underneath there blowing into whistles.
Yeah, it's
And
not
she
one of
just
those
kicked them when it was time for
continuous
them to...
loop tapes or
Oh my
anything
goodness,
like that.
no, not a player calliope.
We've got the Royal Oak Historical Society.
Fronted up there by a couple of the Sullivans, who've been in business in Royal Oak for 100 years. Sullivan Funeral Home. I believe they are the fourth generation, or the fourth generation is now taking over the business.
Royal Oak is trendy. Royal Oak is history. I couldn't have said that any better myself.
That's concise
It's true.
and perfect.
The Wolverine Living History Group. It's proudly participated in the Royal Oak Memorial Day Parade since 2003. Today they've assembled in honor of all veterans by commemorating the heroic flag raising by 5 Marines and 1 Navy corpsman atop Mount Sorbachi during the Battle of Iwo Jima in February of 1943. The spirit of the individual American fighting man on Iwo Jima represents the common spirit of all those American men and women who have faced the enemy in all struggles to defend freedom and liberty abroad. The type of heroic conduct and selfless devotion demonstrated by Marines and sailors in Iwo Jima in 45 compelled Admiral Chester Nimitz to comment that during the bloodiest fighting of the Second World War, uncommon valor was a common virtue.
Very well said.
To honor the sacrifices made by all servicemen and women, past and present, the flag raising is being reenacted. Today, here for us, on the float are Dave, John, and Bob Neary, Brent and Bill Vibbert, and Kyle Wilson, driven by Glenn Wilcox. And following that are the DPW trucks, Hoover and Vector 2100.
And with the arrival of the DPW trucks, I take my cue to leave. Andy, it has been a pleasure again.
I can't believe it's over so
much.
soon.
It's over so soon.
It's before it starts, it's done, and there we are with our Royal Oak Police vehicle bringing up the rear.
We'll be traveling up to the cemetery for the ceremonial wreath laying.
Okay.
So for
Very good.
anyone who wants to continue the festivities, for want of
Sure.
a better term, that's where we'll be. Thank you again, Andy, and thank you to everyone who came out and participated and watched the parade today.
Jody, it's been a pleasure, as always.
As always.
And we'll thank you all for joining us. Again, Jody, a real pleasure to be with you and describe the action to our viewers here. And we look forward to doing it again next year. And stay cool out there. Huh?
Absolutely. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than right here next to you on Memorial Day.
The honor is mine, and we'll take this moment to thank our good people in the truck, Greg Walter and Richard Wilson, as well as the many able-bodied camera and sound people with us today. And thank you for joining us.
Volunteers one and all. And
That's
they do
right.
a wonderful job. Thank you.
So long.